Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Life in General podcast. My name is Nick.
What? Who, what?
I literally just walked by Ian and said, all right, man, you ready? And he's like, whenever you are. So I came, sat down, put my headphones on, and started recording. And he's sitting over there watching TikTok, not even paying attention.
You're not something I like paying attention to, so.
Whatever.
I didn't know what you're doing.
Apparently recording.
See, to be fair, a lot of times you'll sit down and you'll pick up your phone, or you'll sit down and you'll just start doing something, and then that'll go on for like 5 or 6 minutes, and you go, all right, you ready? And then I'll go, yeah, and I'll turn everything off and we'll start. But no, there's occasions where you want to, make it look like I'm a terrible person.
I don't make you look like a terrible person, Ian.
You manipulate the situation to make my terribleness more apparent.
How? I literally said, are you ready? And then I sat down and started recording.
But you say that while you're standing up. You don't even have your headphones on or nothing, so I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing until you're sit down and say, okay, let's go.
I walked by and said, all right, man, you ready?
Yeah.
You said, yeah, whenever you are.
Yeah.
Okay, that means you're ready.
I was ready, but I was still waiting for you to sit down and get yourself situated. I was being polite, actually.
Hey, guys, what's going on?
Winter is coming.
I will say that, yes, we are going to talk about Ian finally watching.
Starting.
Yeah, finally.
I'm more than halfway through.
I started watching Game of Thrones, but I real quick, though, I did want to say that I started rewatching the TV show ER, and I know people. I think someone at work even said because I was talking about this a couple nights ago. Someone at work was like, "Oh my God, you work here, and then you're going home and watching the show."
Yeah, different. They're very. Reality is not that. It's not the same.
I will say, like the first couple of seasons of ER are very much like what we deal with in real life. But I will say, like in the TV show, they're doing a lot of the same stuff that we see in real life. But instead, like in real life, it's, a scenario playing out over, 6 or 12 hours.
Right.
Whereas the TV show, that scenario is playing out in 5 minutes.
Right.
So they're doing like the real stuff that we deal with and see. And like, I remember there's like one episode where, there's a wedding reception, like everyone gets food poisoning. So like they move the wedding reception to the waiting room, and people like watching that are probably like, yeah, whatever. But like, and you can attest to this. There's like at least one point every single week where I think to myself, man, I can't make this shit up.
Right.
Like there's a couple of weeks back where we had a couple of our regulars that are in there they didn't come in together, but they're like singing kumbaya. They weren't singing kumbaya, but they're like singing songs in the waiting room, and it's like where the fuck am I at?
Right.
so like, even though you watch it on TV and you think, yeah, this is some crazy shit, that's kind of what we see, though. We kind of see that we
weird do,
stuff.
And not to the same extent. Like
it's a lot of the stuff on TV is obviously exaggerated,
right?
But and that's why I said
we do see some crazy shit, though.
Yeah. And that's why I said primarily with the first couple of seasons of ER, I think it's very true to life. Now, yes, once you start getting into later seasons where there's like helicopters falling off the roof onto administrators and things like that, we're not seeing stuff like that. That's like over the top exaggerated. Right. That kind of stuff isn't really happening. But
because our helicopters don't even land on the roof, do they? Except for on the
they do on peds, yeah.
Yeah, but not on the adult side where all your administrators are going to be.
No, well, there's administrators over in the other children's hospital, but anyway,
the helicopters aren't going to land on them.
No, they're not going to fall. Well, in ER, it fell off the roof.
Yeah, isn't it supposed to like not fall off the roof? I mean,
yeah, I don't remember the exact. It was like,
was it playing around and it missed a step?
No, I think it was like the wind. The wind like blew it off the roof when it was trying to land. But whatever, that was like season 14 or 15,
25,
yeah, it's like
62.
It was like really long into the TV series, so that's I think
was it the redhead administrator that got killed?
It was the guy that played the bad guy in RoboCop.
Oh, I didn't know he was in ER.
Yeah, I think that was him. Yeah, that was him.
Kurtwood Smith, who was the dad on that 70s show.
No, it wasn't like the main bad guy in RoboCop. It was like his sidekick.
Well, is he the one who was like He was the
one that
he
got
was the executive.
It was the guy in RoboCop that got the acid.
Oh,
dumped
that
on
guy,
him.
yeah.
And like the RoboCop like
Hits him and he liquefies.
Hits him with his car. Yeah, that's that guy.
And it wasn't RoboCop. It was one of the other guys driving away from RoboCop.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was.
And he hits him and he just liquefies.
People listen to us are like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?"
Watch RoboCop for fuck's sake. We shouldn't have to explain it to you.
Yeah, it's Detroit in the year 20.
Like 2005. It's 1987's version of the future of Detroit.
Yeah.
The near future that we've probably already passed and isn't even accurate.
Probably.
You know, it's like Blade Runner. The original Blade Runner takes place in 2019, and it's like post-apocalyptic world, and it's like, well, it's bad, but it ain't that bad.
It's not that bad. But yeah, I just thought it was really kind of funny. It's just some of the stuff I see on ER, I'm like, oh yeah, I could definitely see that happen. I've seen stuff like that happen. Some of that with like weird patients and stuff that they get in the show. And I will say that like I know at least with the first couple of seasons, ER used like real doctors to help make sure stuff was like authentic, especially like the medical side of it. Especially now that I'm watching, I think it's the first time I've watched it since I've been even like I haven't watched it since I started nursing school. So even like I'm listening to some of the stuff doctors are saying, it's like I understand what they're talking about now that I've got like a medical background.
Right.
So I understand a lot of it. So I don't know. It's an interesting show. And you know, I love the emergency department. I love working in the emergency department. You know, even after 5 years of being beat down sometimes by the system, I still see it as a huge honor to work in the emergency department. So, you know, yeah, I work in the emergency department. I love watching TV shows about it. So, but it's not like I'm watching like the reality, real life in the ER show.
Right. Well, even those I've seen a few of them, and it's like
those. Yeah,
you got like actors, and they're not good actors. They're like dramatization actors. So it's terrible, and you're like, what?
Yeah. Or
no one would say that.
No
one would be that.
And I hate reality TV shows.
And no
anyway.
doctor is reacting like that. You know, it's just not.
No,
just not real.
No, but you know, we're here to talk about Ian finally watching. I've been on you for how long to watch Game of Thrones?
Since it was still on TV.
Yeah, a very long time.
Yeah, you weren't the only one. See, I have this weird thing where
you talk to other people other than me.
Well, from time to time. I have this weird thing. The more someone hypes something up, the less likely it is I'm going to watch it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. It's not
That's
not
weird.
a conscious thing, but I don't know. It's like if everyone's watching it, I don't want to watch it. I can't explain it. It's just a weird thing.
Yeah, that's strange.
But Game of Thrones is that was like the big one, because I'm not a big sword and sorcery kind of guy, but I do like that kind of stuff. I like Lord of the Rings and all that. But, you know, it's something I would have watched naturally if people hadn't been keep going, dude, you need to watch this. It's so good. I'd be like, oh, really? It sounds great. Looks great.
Yeah.
I'll get around to it. The second someone's like, you have to watch it, I'm like, no, I don't fucking have to watch it. Maybe that's what it is.
Well, damn it, Ian, you have to watch it.
Well, I am. And I started doing it when no one was telling me to watch it. See, that's how it's funny how that works. You know, one day I was like, I guess I should get around to watching this.
I will say, like, it took me several seasons to get into the show.
I was watching it, like I would watch like a handful of episodes and then go like a couple weeks and not watch any. And that was from season 1 through to the end of season 2. Once I got into season 3, then it became something I was like, oh, I really want to keep going. I want to see more.
I think that's when it started getting good.
Literally from season 3 to season 6, I kind of did that in a very short amount of time, like 2 weeks. And then I literally had to stop because I think I was starting to suffer from PTSD because it was getting way too, I don't know, you know, too much torture and shit going on. My psyche was starting to like feel the strain a little bit.
This is the funny thing is like, so Ian had watched the first like 2 seasons
over like 6 months.
Yeah. And like everyone hates Joffrey, right?
Yeah, I can't stand him.
Ian, you always talked about, oh man, Joffrey is this terrible, terrible person. And my response was always, just wait, because you have not met the worst person in this show yet.
Now I have.
Now you have, because Ramsay Bolton is the worst person.
Yeah, and it's funny because I'm watching him and I see what he does to, what's his name? I can't remember his name now.
Theon,
yeah. Reek.
Yeah. And I'm assuming everyone listening
If
to
you,
this
yeah, if
has-
you're listening to this and you haven't watched Game of Thrones, I guess
we're going to spoil a bunch of
spoil
shit.
it.
Yeah, there's a lot
But
of stuff.
and to be fair, we're only going to spoil it up to season 6 because that's season 6, episode 3 is where I'm at right now.
Yes. And I will say that for anyone that has watched the show, season 6, episodes 5 is probably my, at least of season 6, is probably my favorite episode.
Yeah.
And it's also like one of the worst episodes also. But
Oh, so like I should really be prepared for my PTSD to watch this episode, or
it's probably the saddest moment of the entire series. I'll say that. But
Okay.
just you're
I don't
getting
know how it could get any sadder.
you're getting close to it.
Like
though,
that's
Liam.
it's like, by time, like I said, we're gonna spoil it. By time Ramsay marries Sansa and rapes the shit out of
yeah.
her for no fucking reason other than he can.
Yeah.
By time that happens, I'm just like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, that's why I said,
know.
like, as much as you bitched and
I just
complained
want to
about
see.
Joffrey.
Yeah, now I just want to see Brienne, who's now pledged herself to Sansa, go and like mutilate him. And I think he lasts to the end of the series, doesn't he? Or close to it.
Close to it.
Okay.
Whatever the Battle of the Bastards is.
I don't know what that is.
You'll find out.
I'm assuming it's a battle between Jon Snow and him because they're the bastards of the main bastards of the show. Oh, and Robert's bastard, the one who was with Arya, or the one that the witch was going to sacrifice, but
Yeah.
then the other guy let him go.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen him since. He just disappeared. Does he come back?
I will say that was a long running joke. So
Okay.
I'll leave it at that because
Okay, because he just, I'm gone. He's on a boat. Doo-doo-doo, I'm gone. He always had kind of like I don't really care about stuff, so I just want to do my thing. So I just kind of, I kind of just did, it was natural for me to not even think about him anymore.
yeah.
Can't remember his name. Names are tough with me on this show. I have a hard time.
There is because there's a lot of characters.
There's a
also.
lot of
There's-
characters. A lot of characters I like. Or liked because like 90% of them are dead now.
That was also the ongoing
Yeah,
joke
that,
of the
that
show.
one I
was
was
like,
aware of.
never get too attached to someone because they
Right.
always die. They all die at the end.
The one guy I like, he's not dead yet, but I think he's gonna die because he's got that grayscale disease. He was like the hand to Daenerys until
Yeah.
she found out that he was a spy and she exiled him. And he keeps like trying to get back into her good graces. I don't know why. I mean, I get it. She's hot, but
He ends up playing a pivotal role.
yeah, I assume so because he's played a pivotal role for her
Yeah.
since since the beginning. But I like him. He's a good character.
Yeah, I think eventually you.
I like the good characters.
I will also say that I hopefully I don't spoil this too much. You will also eventually find out who he is. Also,
Okay. No, that doesn't spoil anything because I don't know. I mean, aside from what's already been given as far as his character, that's all I know.
I will say that Game of Thrones is one of those series that, as much as everyone bitched and complained, and even I complained about the final season, I didn't fully appreciate the series until I went back and rewatched it all a second time.
All right. Where you can kind of see everything together.
Yeah, because there's no surprise to it,
Right.
Through the second time. So there's no, you're like, ooh, we're coming up to the red wedding. You know what that is.
To be honest with you, the red wedding is not what I expected. Like, I was expecting, like, first of all, everything to be red, other than just the blood.
It was just a lot of blood.
Yeah, a lot of blood. But even when it was happening, I'm like, is this the red wedding?
Yeah,
Because I was like, it's a wedding and there's blood.
yeah.
But for some reason, I was picturing something going on in the Capitol, like some kind of big wedding. So I was waiting for like a big wedding. But I guess in the grand scheme, it's the big. It's big because
They kill everyone.
they
They-
the main characters, they kill 2 of them.
Yeah. So I believe so. Catherine in the book, I believe it is. Catherine Stark comes back.
From the
She's
dead.
like a zombie, and I believe is how the book. I didn't read the book, or because the books didn't go very far into the series. As Ian plays with the cats,
I was just helping her out, or him. I don't know if it's a boy or girl.
they're both girls.
Oh, I was helping her out.
Throwing balls at her. But yeah, I believe I read somewhere that in the book she's like comes
White
back,
Walker
she
zombie
comes
people?
back as like a zombie in the.
Well, there's a lot of zombies in there. I don't know what that White Walker thing is where they bring the dead back to life, but
Yeah.
to make their army,
Yeah.
which is clever. I mean,
It's an unstoppable army if you
right.
think about it, because like
they're very hard to stop.
yeah, because even like as they kill your people, they could turn your people into them.
Right.
So-
Basically, it's like what's that thing where it's like you touch and they become, I don't know. There's like a game or something like that.
Reanimated. They become,
Yeah, I understand with that, but there's like
they
this
come-
game where it's like I don't know. It's
I don't know. What
forget it. Forget I say anything because I don't even remember what I'm talking about. But
Yes, they're able to reanimate the dead.
Right.
So
yeah. So and I don't know much about them because they're just starting to come into the picture. There was just that battle where the wildlings all got decimated basically by the White Walkers. Well, that was last season. That was season 5. It was the
Yeah.
end of season 5.
Yeah, it was.
So the very last scene I saw was Jon Snow had been killed by his own men for treason, and I say that with air quotes because he's not the one that killed the leader, but anyway.
yeah.
And then he was brought back by the Red Witch chick.
So
My last scene is him opening his eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know how that plays out. I mean, I've seen little clips of stuff that come from later seasons. He seems normal,
yeah.
but
Well, how did you feel about his death? Because that's the one thing that I'm
see, the
surprised.
sad thing is I know he's not dead.
Yeah,
even
yeah.
even seeing him get stabbed, I knew he wasn't dead.
Yeah, but that's like
But
that's the one thing that wasn't spoiled yet for you. You did not know.
No, I did not
died.
know he died at
Yeah.
any point because I know that he's still alive in later seasons.
Yeah,
So when I saw that, I was like, huh? I thought maybe they stabbed him and just left him for dead. But then, like, all of them were stabbing him, so...
yeah.
Or 3 of them stabbed him.
And the little kid stabs.
Yeah,
him
the
at
little
end.
kid stabbed him, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, well...
You make me want to watch Game of Thrones.
So when that happened, I was like, okay, well, I know he comes back, but he's fucking dead now. So... I don't know.
We'll have to revisit this conversation after you finish the series,
yeah.
though, because
So-
all that will end up making sense.
One of my favorite characters is the guy who's there, who was what's his name? Robert's brother, the one who was the king. He was like his hand.
yeah,
He's kind of like my favorite character because he's trying to be loyal, but every time something happens, he's like, dude, you're fucking this up.
which one are you talking about?
I don't know his name. I don't even know if his name been named, but he was like, what was Robert's brother's name? I can't remember his name now.
Robert who?
King Robert, the one who his brother.
Rob
thinks,
Stark?
No, King Robert, like Joffrey's dad. His brother thinks he's
Robert Baratheon.
Baratheon.
Yes.
Okay, so
you got to what? Stanish, and then is like the one that
Stanish was the gay brother.
no. Stanish is the one that has the boats.
Stanish is dead. They just talked about him. Which one was the one that was killed because he was gay?
That was the other one.
Oh, I thought that was Stanish because they were talking
No.
about him as though he's dead. Well, I guess Stanish is dead because he died in the boats.
Yes.
When they attacked the King's Landing. Okay.
Yeah.
So the other brother, the one who claims to be the true king,
Yes.
his right hand, the one who's always constantly going, "Why are you listening to this witch?"
Oh, God, what the hell is his name?
I don't know, but I like him because that's like I said, he keeps going, dude. Why the fuck are you doing this? You're fucking this all up, and he's right most of the time. Even though the witch proved him wrong a few times because
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, look at my magic, it worked." Well, didn't work for for him in the end.
Davos.
Yeah.
Davos Seaworth.
Yeah.
That's what his name is.
I like him. He's like
Yes.
one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, he's. I like him.
Because he's I see, that's the thing. I know there's a lot of gray in terms of good or bad in terms of characters,
Yes.
which is very realistic. But there's some characters who are just, even though they do some gray things, they're still, you can tell they're good people. Jon Snow, this guy. There's a few others. The people who are the guy who Daenerys' right hand that she exiled. He's a good guy. He just
Yeah.
did something shady. And the other guy who came on, he was the
You're talking about Jorah Mormont is the guy. Her right hand.
okay, the one that was exiled from her because he was
Yes.
spying on her. Okay, who's the other guy that came on later? He was the Knights Guard or the head of the Knights for Joffrey, and Joffrey fired him.
Oh yeah, that's
And now he's with
yeah.
Daenerys.
I don't remember his name is.
Yeah.
Off the top of
The
my
older
head.
guy.
Yeah, the older.
I like him too because at least it's all a lot of like just murder and badness, but
Yes.
there are some characters who are still honorable, like Stark was.
Yeah.
Ned Stark was an honorable character. I
Yes.
think even King Robert was a good character, a good person. He was, a very gluttonous person, but he was a good person.
Very much so.
Cersei is not a good person, but her brother is turning out to be somewhat of a good person, and I hated him from the beginning too.
Jamie.
Jamie, yeah.
I
I think he had to lose his hand to really kind of like figure things out.
I love that scene where they cut his hand off.
Yeah,
too, 'cause it was,
I didn't see that coming.
because I didn't see it because I watched it, I watched all that when it was going on, like when
Right.
the series was airing. So there was no spoiling that.
Right.
So I was like,
I didn't know it was
so when
coming
they
either.
chopped it off, I was like, oh fuck,
Right.
now what the hell is he gonna do?
See, that's how I felt when Theon lost his penis. I was like, no, don't do that. That's just
Yeah.
wrong. Cut his hand off. Don't cut that off. But he
Yeah.
did.
Poor old Theon.
Yeah. He's had a rough time to go.
He's had a rough series.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. He did some bad shit too. But,
Yeah.
you don't cut a man's penis off.
Now he's less of a man. So that happened after he met his sister and everything, then,
Yes,
correct? Okay.
yes, yeah.
Because that was really kind of weird. Like, they're like, right. So his sister picks him up,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like riding to their house, and he's like groping her, not knowing that's his sister. And I'm like,
Right.
I'm like, that's kind of weird. There's some really weird.
Did
moments
we
in
know?
this.
Because I don't think the
No,
audience knew
I don't
it was
think
a
the
sister
audience
either.
didn't know at that moment.
But then when it's kind of like the Luke Skywalker Princess Leia thing. It's like once you find out, you're like, ooh,
Ooh, yeah.
that shouldn't have happened.
There's a couple of those that shouldn't happen.
Well, this
moments
show
in
does
the-
not shy away from interfamily relations.
Yes.
So
Yeah, well, the very first episode, Jamie's banging Cersei.
yeah. Well, and
That's how the whole thing starts.
right. Yeah, pretty much.
Brandon gets knocked out of the window.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell's going on with him and that whole like sight thing.
You'll find out.
I'm sure I'll find out because I know he makes his way back to his family because I've seen scenes where they're all together.
Yeah.
But when the what's his name went up against the mountain for Tyrion,
Yeah.
I've seen that scene out of context
Yeah.
before. So
Once
it started, I was like,
that was really disappointing because because you're watching that, you're like, shit, yeah, he's gonna kill him.
right, and he should have, and he could have, and he
did.
would have.
He did.
Yeah.
Except for he got fucking cocky.
Right, that's it. He got cocky. Yeah, he should have ended it and then got cocky.
Yes.
But it really didn't matter because now there's like the zombie version of him or the Frankenstein version of him.
Yeah.
That's Cersei's like protector.
Yeah.
And to
But-
be honest, all the shit that happened with Cersei, she deserved every bit of it, but I still felt bad for her
Yeah.
because she basically gives a lot of power to this religious sect.
Oh, that's right. You're
Yeah.
through your part. You're into that now.
Yeah, she's back now, but she wasn't even allowed to go to the temple for her daughter.
Did she already do
funeral.
her walk of shame?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I felt bad for her.
For that, yeah.
That was like the only part of the series I felt.
Yeah,
bad for.
I mean, when she's in the dungeon, I'm like, you did this to yourself,
Yeah.
but because she legitimately did that to herself. If she had not given them that power, she would not be in that position.
No, she did it herself.
So she did it herself, but I still felt bad for her. And the walk of shame was way too much.
Yeah.
It's like, and I was surprised. I wouldn't have expected the actress, especially that far into a series, because this was like this was season 5,
yeah, to do that
to
kind
do
of
a full
scene.
nude scene like that. Yeah, I mean, kudos to her for sure. But I just actors and actresses don't do that once
Yeah.
they're established because there's
yeah.
no reason. Nothing's gonna. They can't say, well, you have to do it or we're gonna fire you, because they're not gonna do that.
Yeah,
So, it's part of the craft. I respect her a lot. And I've always liked her as an actress. I've seen her in other things too.
yeah.
So, that I felt bad for. I really feel bad for, what's the new king's name? Her other son?
Yeah, Tommen,
Tom and his wife.
Yeah.
I can't, it's again, I'm terrible with names. So
the Tyrell.
The-
I
yeah.
don't remember her first name though, but yeah, I know what you're talking about.
the hot chick.
Yeah, She's hot.
Yeah.
She was in the she was in Captain America.
Yeah.
So after Captain America goes and saves everyone, he's like standing in the office
Yeah,
waiting for
yeah.
somebody. She's the one that comes up and kisses
First thing
him.
I saw her in was she was in that show The Tudors on HBO. It was
Never
King
saw
Henry. I believe she played Anne Boleyn. But
Really?
I believe so. I know she was in it. She played one of his wives,
Okay.
but I believe she played Anne Boleyn. I'm still
Marjorie.
Marjorie, yeah. I still don't know what happens to her. I do know. I've seen the scene again. I've seen the clip where her grandmother is confessing to Cersei that she's really the one who poisoned Joffrey.
Well, she admits it to Jamie.
Oh, is it Jamie she's
Yeah,
admitting it to? I
it's
thought she was
Jamie.
admitting it to
No.
Cersei.
No, she admits it to Jamie.
Oh. But he ends up telling Cersei, right?
Yes.
And she dies, right? I mean, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
The actress is dead. Diana Rigg, she died very recently. She was a Bond girl.
Was she?
Yeah, she was the Bond girl in On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Oh, okay. Huh. But yeah, Bran and you end up like here pretty soon. You're going to actually season 6, episode 5. You're going to learn a lot about
Bran. Okay.
So you got 2
I mean,
more
it's
episodes.
cool that he's got these like powers because it gives him something.
Yeah.
You know, because he couldn't just be carried around by Hodor the rest of the show and made a difference.
The 3-eyed raven.
Yeah. So that's cool that he's got something going on. My absolute favorite character is a tie, really, it's a 3-way tie. The one guy, like I said, from Baratheon's right hand, who's now probably going to be with Jon Snow, because he's the one who convinced the
Talking
witch.
about Sir Davos.
Yeah. I like him a lot. Jon Snow, obviously, because I know he's technically
Yeah.
the hero of the show anyway.
Yeah, John's my favorite character.
And Arya.
yeah.
I love Arya. I think she's awesome. I don't understand what's going on with her with the face dancer people.
that's all
Yeah.
gonna make sense
I know.
eventually.
Because you know what's funny? I'm finding parallels between what's going on in Game of Thrones and the sci-fi series Dune, the book series, because the movie they haven't gone very far in the series in terms of film.
Oh yeah.
But there's a lot of parallels. There's witches, but they're space witches. They're not really. But they kind of it's all politics and it's all about dethroning the emperor and backstabbing and houses. And
Yeah.
it's very similar. And Dune did it first, to be fair. But they have a type of assassin called face dancers, and that's what they do. They change their face. I don't know if that's what's going on here. It's what I'm gathering. Because I was really confused with that whole thing when
she hasn't made it to the temple yet, has she?
she's in the temple. She's gone blind.
Okay.
So she, paid her penance for killing that one guy.
Yeah.
But after she killed him and that other guy killed himself, the one face changer guy, and then she's like pulling his faces off. I don't know what that was about. Like, none of that has been explained yet.
I believe it all makes
Because
sense eventually.
when she's pulling all these faces off, then her face shows up, and then she goes blind.
yeah.
And then you see her begging as a blind person, and the head of the whatever the face people are keeps challenging her, and then he takes her back. As far as I know, she's still blind.
Yeah.
So as far as I remember, she's still blind.
Tyrion, I also love Tyrion.
Oh, Tyrion.
Tyrion's great.
I take that back. He's actually tied with my first favorite character.
Yeah.
Because I think as far as development goes, because he's never really been a bad character. He's obviously just like everyone else done some bad things, but from the get-go, he was a sympathetic character.
Uh-huh.
And he's maintained that, and he's grown as he's become a man of honor, Yeah.
Battle of the Blackwater and all that stuff.
Right.
I will say, I think the worst person in the show
Is Ramsay.
is Littlefinger.
Oh.
Because that's all Littlefinger's fault. Like, he's the one that turns in Ned, that gets Ned killed.
Mm-hmm.
He's the one that sells off Sansa to fucking Ramsay.
Right.
So, I mean, it's like he's orchestrating all this stuff that,
But he does it with such charm.
yeah.
That's what makes him so
He's
evil.
such a little bastard.
Yeah. No, there's evil and then there's evil. Ramsay is just pure evil.
Yes.
Whereas,
He's like a torturing kind of evil.
Right. Whereas Littlefinger, he won't hurt you if it doesn't serve his purpose.
Yeah.
Ramsay will hurt you no matter what.
Yeah. He'll hurt you just out of spite.
Exactly. Just to hear you scream.
Yeah. And Samwell's a great character in the show. Also, Samwell Talley or Tarly. He's the fat kid, the fat guy.
Oh yeah,
at
yeah.
The wall.
I like him too.
Samwell.
I mean, he's again, a sympathetic character, and he's good through the whole thing.
Yeah, he's the one that goes up there and saves Gilly and brings her and her
Yep.
son down.
Yep.
And,
Who's also named Sam.
well, she names
She names him
because he
Sam.
didn't have a name because they kill the
males. Right.
They feed the males to the White Walkers.
Yeah. I know all that. That's all in the past because even
Yeah.
her father's dead now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like him. Actually, the main
Oh,
crows that
Gendry is the guy that goes off in the boat.
okay, yeah, the main people that support Jon Snow within the keep or at the wall. Like there's Sam and then like two other guys.
Yeah.
Well, there were three, but the other one died killing the giant. And then of course Davos or whatever. That group, I like that group, that dynamic there because they just know that Jon Snow is the right person
Yeah.
to be leading stuff. So
So you're at the beginning of season 6. So he hasn't. So
he's dead. He just came back to life. That's where I left
okay.
off.
So he hasn't gone down and met Dany yet.
Which one's Dany?
Daenerys.
No, he hasn't met her. No.
Okay.
I know he does, but he has no.
Yeah,
He's still-
I know they meet in a conjugal kind of way. But
Right. I don't. As far as I know, like he's still like adhering to his oath to stay at the wall.
yeah.
So I'm assuming that's all over with now that the wall people have betrayed him. Like he can go now.
Well, you're gonna find out here.
Technically, they
you're-
can't kill him again.
You're gonna find out in the next couple of episodes, Ian.
Yeah. So if it were me, I would have left a long time ago.
But you do. Has it been spoiled for you yet? Who Jon Snow is?
Kind of. He's he was Ned brought him back as his own bastard, but really he was his sister's son,
Yes.
and the father was a Targaryen.
Daenerys's brother.
Okay, the one that got killed by Drago.
No,
Or
no,
what's
no,
his
no,
name?
No, not that one.
Because he died, and like him either.
Yeah.
I like the way he died.
No, her. It was the one that died during Robert's rebellion.
Okay, I was gonna say he was awfully young.
Yeah.
Not that matters in Game of Thrones.
Nope. Not at all. But yes. Yeah.
I was weird. I was kind of weirded out too because
Because it's John's aunt is who Dany is.
right. So
And you're gonna see all that coming up here pretty soon. Next couple episodes.
okay. So I was speaking of what we were just talking about. I was kind of worried about how they were going to play the whole king with Marjorie, the new king, not Joffrey.
Yeah.
Because the actor did not look old enough to be doing a sex scene, and they didn't.
No.
But it was just I was like, God, I hope they don't like. I know they can't legally do that, right? Like, if he's too young.
I don't know. You're talking about Tommen?
Yeah.
I don't know how old he was when they shot it.
He seemed pretty fucking young, but and
Yeah.
and he's playing a character who's very young
Yeah, he is.
because he's like, I would imagine he's playing someone who's like 12 or 13 years old.
Probably, yeah, somewhere along those lines. in
The
show,
actor's
yeah.
obviously older, but I
Yeah.
think he's playing a character that's very young.
I'm gonna see. He is 24 years old now, so he's.
And that was back in 2000. So that was 6-7 years ago.
Yeah, so he's late teens.
Teens. Still.
He wasn't. Yeah, he's not old enough to be doing sex scenes. Obviously.
Right. But that's how I've always worried with Arya too. Every time she's like in a group of men, I'm like, are they gonna fucking rape her? Because everyone gets raped in this show too.
She does have a nude scene.
Does she?
Yep.
She's too young for that though.
That's the last season.
She's still too young for that. She still looks too young. Like even now, she still kind of looks too young.
Well, I mean, hey, whatever. Show your body if you want to show your body. She does it in real life too. I mean, she's put pictures and stuff out before.
Well,
herself,
okay,
but
fair enough. But anyway,
Whatever.
I just see her as a little kid.
I'm sex positive, I guess.
I am too, but I not when it comes to children. And it's
No.
like,
Well, she's not a child.
I know, but
so-
I still picture her as a child.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
she's not a child. And She was over the age of
She
18. but-
as an actress, she kind of is immortalized as a child, at least as far as Game of Thrones is concerned.
Yeah, I guess.
So I know she's not. She played a character in Doctor Who, or in a story arc in Doctor Who,
Yeah.
but which is actually really good. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, I need to finish it, and I think I've had a sufficient amount of time away from it. It's been like 2 weeks since I stopped because, like I said, it was. I mean, to be fair, like in a span of 3 days, I watched all of the end of season 4 and all of season 5 in the span of like 2 days.
Yeah.
So by the time I got to the episode 3 of season 6 in that same stretch, I was just like, I can't anymore. Like I literally was starting to feel like ill about it.
So at this point, what's your opinion of Varys?
Which one's Varys?
Varys is the bald guy that was with.
I like him, but I'm cautious about it because I know he probably has an agenda.
Everyone has an agenda.
Right. And again, him and Littlefinger, very similar characters, but I think Varys wouldn't go to the same lengths to achieve his goals.
Yeah.
You know, and he's more of the background. Like I sit and watch.
I think Varys's goals are a little more honorable.
Right. And I get that too. Cause Daenerys is a good leader. She would make a good queen. I think she's a little too easily manipulated by certain things.
Yeah.
But overall, when she tends to make a decision on her own, it tends to be the right decision. And he's obviously putting his money or his support in her direction.
Yeah.
So it says something to me that he's a good character. And he's supporting Tyrion, so at least as of right now.
Yeah, my opinion of him changed like multiple times throughout the series.
Before I just saw him as a sleazy politician.
Yeah.
Now I see him as something a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a great show.
It is.
I will say that I wish I felt like some of the nudity in this show was a little gratuitous.
Yeah, it is.
It was a little over the top. It was not needed in a lot of parts.
Even just overall, the sex and nudity. If they had taken all of that out, I think it would have been a good show.
I will say
I don't think it would have been as popular as it was.
No,
though.
probably not. I will say, as the show went on, I believe there was less and less of it.
That's what they say, but I'm not seeing evidence of that. There's definitely been a lot less dicks in it.
Yeah, that's very true.
The number of dicks you see has gone down considerably as the show has progressed.
I will say, you haven't seen Euphoria yet, have you?
I have not. I don't know if I will.
There are so many penises in Euphoria. It is ridiculous.
Isn't it about high school though?
Yeah.
All right, I probably won't watch it.
It is. The second season is a lot better than the first season.
Why is there more dicks in it or less?
I believe there's less, but like story wise, it's a better story.
Because isn't it just about like teen drug addiction?
Yes, basically.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm into that.
But some of it's pretty tough to watch.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to.
Like the acting is good.
Oh yeah.
Story wise, it's hard to watch because it's not a pleasant subject.
Right. Well, I felt that way with some of Game of Thrones stuff.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the rape and stuff. I don't. It's too much for me.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. I suppose that's a good thing.
You shouldn't be one of those people like, yeah, bring on more rape.
Right. Some people do.
Well, I know that. I've probably met some of those people, but
I mean, it is a whole subgenre of porn.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird subgenres of porn, though.
Yeah.
Let's not go down that.
Piss Drinkers Weekly.
I'm just glad you're finally watching the damn show because forever I was like, Ian, watch this fucking show so I can talk to you
If
about
you want
it.
me to watch the show, go, probably do it like this. Don't say, it's awesome, you got to watch it. You got to say, I really enjoy it. You'll probably like it because of this. And then I might watch it. Because I'm not being told to watch it. I'm just saying you kind of give me a reason why I might
It's
like
hard
it.
to say. It's hard to tell anybody.
You know me well enough to know what I like. If it's like,
Do I?
I don't know. Probably not.
I
but-
don't, because I don't think I could tell you watch Game of Thrones because I know you'll like it because of this. Like, I don't know. Like,
with something like Game of Thrones, what intrigued me about it, what I knew about it before I watched it, what intrigued me about it was the intrigue, the political stuff, the backstabbing, the plotting. I like that kind of stuff if it's done right. It's the reason why I can still go back and watch Dallas because of JR doing that kind of stuff.
I see that.
And the action's fine, but for me, it's more like the talking parts, the talking heads when they're plotting. Varys is a perfect example. I like scenes that he's in, especially with Tyrion. When they're doing a back and forth, that's the kind of stuff I like.
Okay.
So
That makes sense. But I'm sure we'll probably talk about it again. Once
Well, we'll
we're
have to
done
do
with the
a
series.
complete series overview once I'm done with it.
Yeah,
So
because there's some like really big shit that you haven't gotten to yet.
yeah, I'm sure, and I know that, like I said, some things are spoiled for me, I don't know how the show ends. I have no idea.
That's what I'm waiting for,
That's
man.
yeah.
Because I want to know
and
what
I'm
you
trying
think.
desperately to avoid any spoilers as to how the show actually ends.
Yeah.
I don't know who survives the ending. I don't know if anybody survives the ending. I know nothing.
Because I'm really interested to know what you think about the end of the show and how they end it.
Okay. Now,
So
that being said, because most people hated season 8, I will probably love season 8.
I will say that, like, when I first watched season 8, I didn't necessarily hate it.
Right.
I thought
You were just disappointed with some of it?
I thought some of the stuff that went from that bled in from season 7 to season 8 was kind of cheap.
Okay.
The way that they accomplished some stuff was in a really kind of like they built some stuff up to be really big,
and they didn't they didn't end it or
and it was like finished in a really easy kind of way.
Yeah.
So I had some issues with that, but like overall, I thought it was a really good, like it was an okay
finale.
Season. When I went back and watched it a second time, I liked it a lot more the second time because I was able to pick up on other stuff from previous seasons. Because remember, I watched most of the series in real time.
Right.
At least the last 6 seasons.
Right.
I watched it in real time. So, there was, but so when I binge watched it, I was able to pick up on more stuff. I was like, oh, okay, well, I understand why that's happening. And I kind of understood why they did it the way that they did it.
Okay.
I'm trying to say stuff without giving away
Right,
too much.
right.
But
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a common problem with a lot of shows in general. Tying up loose plot threads, especially with like Game of Thrones, if they had all of the books to go off of, it probably would have followed the books a
they
lot more.
only had books for the first couple of seasons.
Right. Once they had to start going off of the books, like, away from the books, it probably got a lot harder because now you're trying to tie up plot threads that someone else is going to do differently no matter what.
Well, because the guys that did the story aren't the guy that wrote the book.
Right, right. So, you're already going, okay, well, these plot threads that are left over from the books, we've got to tie those up in a satisfying way. But we also don't know when this is going to end because at that point, you've got multiple seasons still going forward. We need to create new plot threads too so that we can keep this interesting.
Yeah.
So I get why they had a struggle with it the last few seasons. It totally makes sense. And I'm kind of going into it with that frame of mind. So I'm not judging it. And I have never read the books.
I will say that
when I'm done with this, I may consider going back and at least starting the first one and seeing
Yeah.
how it reads.
I will say that the two showrunners, they knew the story. Like so the way that I don't remember the guy's name that wrote the book.
George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, okay. So the reason that he allowed these two guys to do the series is they had obviously read the books and they correctly figured out John's backstory.
Okay.
So that's why he was like, okay, these guys know enough to do this the
Gotcha.
right way.
Because I've heard that his conclusion to the series is not the same as theirs.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I've heard that from him. And the book's supposed to be coming out finally. He's been writing it for like 6 years.
I think it's longer than that.
Yeah, probably. But like I said, when I'm done with the series, I may consider going and actually reading at least the first book.
Yeah.
Because some of those fantasy books, like I said, certain sorcery books are tough to read.
It depends on how they're written.
Yeah. I read The Hobbit when I was a kid, and I've gone back and tried to reread it as an adult. I don't know how I fucking read it as a kid. As an adult, I'm like, I can't get through this. What is going on? Did I think I was reading it and not actually read it? But
Maybe.
I don't know. I did read it when I was a kid.
But yeah,
We'll see how it goes.
I can't wait for you to finish the damn series so we can talk more about it. But
Yeah,
all I
well,
had.
it was just announced that House of Dragons starts in August.
Yeah.
So probably right before that, we should be able to do a full-blown Game of Thrones episode.
Okay.
So we'll shoot for that.
I can probably watch the entire series before that.
Oh,
but-
you can. And as long as I force myself, I'll probably get through season 6 in the next week.
Yeah.
But I can't.
They're only 10 episode seasons.
Yeah,
so-
but it's full hour episodes, so it's like 10 hours.
Yeah.
but I'm not going to be able to do what I did. I'm not going to be able to watch a whole technically a season and a half in a matter of a few days again. I can't.
Yeah.
If going forward, if the level of violence and torture is the same, I can't do it.
It's not.
Okay.
Like the point you're like all the stuff with like Ramsey and Theon, that's like the hardest
But
stuff.
even beyond that, like watching the Walk of Shame and still anticipating having to watch that again with Marjorie or worse.
Yeah.
All that stuff, I'm just that it's not just Ramsey. There's a lot of other stuff going on too.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of bloodshed going on. And
which, you know what?
I don't
that's
mind
kinda,
violence.
That's kind of how it was though, you know.
Right. In medieval times.
Yeah.
I understand that, but I don't live in medieval times.
Yes, I
so,
know. Yeah,
you know.
I know.
And don't get me wrong, I like violence. I like scary slasher films, but it's very contained. It's contained, and you might have a death toll of about 10 people spread out over the full movie, and it's done. Here it lingers with you.
Yeah.
You know?
The series is done good.
Yeah.
It's a good series.
Right.
So I guess I'll kind of leave it at that and say, you know, if you haven't watched this, we probably.
I was going to say, we spoiled a lot of it.
a lot of it already, but because, you know, a decade later, you should at least watch the series. But
technically, longer than a decade. I think the series started in 2011.
yeah.
So yeah, it's just past. It's like almost 11 years now.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. That's all I got. If you enjoy the show, I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Well, and if you have watched Game of Thrones and you like how we've talked about it, come back and see us and right before August. Keep an eye out for that
yeah,
episode.
we'll go a little more in depth to be able to talk about the whole rest of the series.
Right. And maybe if I get through this, maybe I'll do House of Dragons
In real time.
in real time.
Okay.
That way we can do like a season at a time when it
Okay.
comes out. How's that?
Sounds like a plan, man.
If it's good, it might
Yeah.
suck.
Yeah,
Who
it
knows?
might. We'll see. But I mean, if you got any questions or comments, you can email us at
lifeingeneralpod@gmail.com.
and check us out on Facebook. And that's about all I got, man. Until next time,
Talk to y'all later.
peace.
Play my role, let me tell you about it. This shit right here, man, I'm about it. Only real niggas reside around me. Yo, old lady, drop a guard around me. Dip like I know you can, bitch. Show me the ropes like we in the ring. Got you some cobras, you wanna hang. Shoulder to shoulder, the niggas basic. You know I won't lie. You know that I ain't for that fuck shit. You niggas alright, but I'm way better and she love it. Know that y'all sick as fuck. Here go this tissue, bro. We taking the dub. Hoping you get you some. This hit like a pick me up. She taking my drugs. Know they see the sign. That's some dollar signs. Know they sick as fuck. Know they sick as fuck. Tell them get well soon. Tell them get well soon. Know you sick as fuck. Get well soon.
Oh shit, watch out, you the god Billy Ocean. Right now, and I'm smiling in your face, bitch. With a gold smile, you should probably make placement to your eye. Niggas sick as fuck, standing with niggas who down for that party, who down for some bitches who showing their bodies. Swear to God, nigga, this Molly got me up and rolling. These bodies of water, bring that shit in bottles. We mosh at the party, that hit when we style it.